Hey everyone, we are here with Nita, and she is going to share a little bit of her story and what made her decide to do coaching and what that experience was like, to give you some insight on what her experience was like in her story. So, hi Nita, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, I loved working with you. You have such a bubbly, fun spirit. You know, you were very introspective. You were able to really open up and share a lot. And I appreciated that. And I appreciated working with you through coaching and just giving you some clarity. But I wanted you to share with the people. So let them know, like, what first made you decide to start coaching or to look into it?
Well, um, over the years, I found myself, you know, maybe, dating here and there, not really getting the marriage results that I wanted to get. And time continued to pass by, and um, eventually I said, hey, let me try something different. I'm still in the same place that I was some years ago. So maybe it's time for me to try something new, and try to do something for myself, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, coaching is something that you can have just for you, and no one else. And it's that time that you set aside to make yourself better and to prove anything that you want to work on in your life. So that's basically why I decided to go forward with that.
I think what you just said was so important, especially about making that time for yourself. So thank you for sharing that. So, what was your experience like over those weeks of working? Can you just give a little bit about what your experience with coaching was like?
Well, um, I remember I had assignments sent to me ahead of time before we actually had some coaching calls, Zara and I, that I would work on, and that was good because I'm good with writing assignments and sitting down, reflecting, taking the time to just kind of go over them and really dig deep and try to figure out, what are some of the answers to these questions that I was given. So that was cool. And what I liked about that, it really kept me on track and kept me disciplined to want to have to do these assignments and then follow up with Zara, um, and say, hey, okay, I'm accountable to Zara because this is something that I probably would normally do on my own time. So I like the accountability factor and, having to dig deep and look at questions that probably would never be asked of me in any other setting. So that's what I liked about doing the coaching. That was kind of my first experience with that. And then every week, Zara and I would sit down over the phone, and when we go over over my answers to the questions that she had sent me, and it was good because then I would have a time to express myself in a confidential environment, and
Hmm.
just say what I want to say without being judged, and then she gave me some feedback, on some of my responses that I would give her. So
So
that's
coming
kind of
out of
my
it,
experience.
I'm sorry. So coming out of it, oh, what would you say that you've gained from it, and would you recommend this to any other woman?
What I gained out of it was may have been preventing myself as a woman from maybe getting into that relationship that I desire to get into. Learning more about what has been my barriers, what has been preventing me from going forward, and also, learning more about where to find potential mates, learning more about myself, learning, more about feminine energy, something that, was not really taught to me growing up. It wasn't something that was discussed, and something that I had really seen a whole lot of. So, things like that were very valuable to me. And I like the fact that, Zara would, look at things from a holistic perspective. She would talk to you, and she would just, talk about your day. It was almost having like a girlfriend for every week. then we would get to the courtship stuff, and we were able to, just kind of relax and go forth and process whatever things I wanted to talk about. So I think, that was my experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. One more thing. I wanted to touch on this. You don't have to go into detail, but I just want to share really quickly. There was a situation, if you remember, that occurred while we were coaching with the guy that you were getting to know, re-getting to know. And I just want to kind of, if you could just touch on like how you were able to catch yourself in that and that clarity that you had to step back and be like, wait, is this really for me? And go about it in a different way versus how you may have done before. Do you remember, you recall what I'm referring to?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes, I do. So, a lot of times women, we are involved in a lot of the same old habits that we might have developed from our early teens, early 20s. Some women might be in that age group still. I don't know whoever decides to get coaching, but there are some habits that I developed over some years, and I would kind of go forth with that. I would seem to become more interested in men who are good looking to me, who maybe have the best job, or they're fun, they're exciting, but they may not have had the same values as myself. They don't necessarily want to enter a courtship with myself. And I realized from coaching, that this is, I want something more meaningful. I want something more deep, and I can't just continue to go forward with um, wanting something that is self-gratifying in that moment, or some months or a year. I want something deeper than that. I want something where I can build something with that guy, and grow and get married, and build a legacy for myself. And those were one of the things that I became very much more clear on, after I got the coaching. So
Definitely. I remember you coming to me like, I feel like I'm being tested. I feel like these things are coming up now that I'm in coaching. And I love that because you're just awareness and you really embrace this. So that makes me so happy. So thank you so much for sharing this testimonial and letting other women know the benefits. And especially I love that you spoke on taking that time for yourself to focus in on yourself and the accountability. I think that that's really important. So thank you so much for sharing that.
yes, no problem.